Hello, friends. It is I, host Eric, host Talking with Famous People. Yes, I live. What I have recently determined, in my capacity as Pastor Eric, is that while Yea Lord, demigod of never wrong, praise Yea Lord, is never wrong, Taylor periodically is. So, let it here be stated that the fiery map gas flames of Yea Lord's truth can neither be extinguished nor replaced with propane. We know that Taylor is wrong about this because no sane human being would replace the hotter gas for the more moist gas, given the choice to use either on the same attachment. It's indisputably true. So, additionally, I've communed with the truths of Yalor, and he's informed me that in a quiet moment, when nobody's watching, Yalor plans to explain to Taylor that the move to propane was unacceptably moist. Now, I like sunflower seeds, but it's not something you need to not forget to eat. It's something that you think, yeah, okay, I'll have a few. Dill pickle flavor, huh? That's curious. But you don't need reminders. No, there's only one food for which one needs a reminder, and that's cheese. So with this fine introduction, I shall segue into the issue of leadership and the conversations that occurred today in the Raw Room and with Nick personally, and my reaction to it and stuff like that. So, foremost, let me say thank you to everybody for helping me define myself. And that's really what's going on is you guys are helping me come to terms with an area I haven't really addressed before, which is managing adults. I don't manage adults very well. But that's fine, because what I think Nick was trying to tell me earlier, more than anything else, was that leadership is not management. So, then Taylor in the room accused me of playing dumb to sidestep something that needed to be addressed directly, in some sense. And namely, that I didn't want... I wanted to have my cake and eat it too. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I wanted to try to get people to help me make it as successful as possible. I wanted to try to include as many people as possible. I wanted to be egalitarian and all that sort of stuff. But it can't start to work. I mean, work beyond my realistic dreams. You know, maybe not my wildest, but beyond my realistic dreams, it's working. It can't then work and you behave as though nothing's changed. I think that's where the accusation of disingenuity came from, is that as realities change, so does what's required from a presentational standpoint, or a display standpoint, or a positioning standpoint. So, what's curious though about that earlier leadership discussion, I'll try to upload that as well onto the channel in a little while, is that that was basically the complaint. But there's not really any specificity about manners in which I ought to show leadership other than I am. I think we all agree, anybody who's interested even passingly in the channel, that nobody wants to be talked to like a kid, nobody wants to be bossed around, nobody wants to be told what to do, nobody wants a bunch of expectations burdening them. So, I understand this very well, that things work best when people come to something on their own terms. But I also, realistically, do understand the point that Taylor and Nick are making, which is that there's a community of people who periodically will want to access from me clarity of vision, enthusiasm, and validation that they're being helpful to me. So part of leadership for me is allowing others to help me, be gracious about it, not try to somehow explicitly make it worth their while all the time. To allow people to help me because they want to help me because it's going to make them feel good to help me. That's a challenging one for me to straddle because, I'm a lot like Trenton. I'm spiking out things that are 45-year-old things to spike out rather than 18-year-old things to spike out. But I'm still spiking shit out. And I don't want to be accused of exploitation. I actually don't want to exploit anybody, too, of course. I've been on the receiving end of that. I mean, I didn't really think of it as such until I left, but then I realized, oh my God, this woman was making so much money off me. And giving me a teeny bit of it. So, right. But I want to stress, I'm not making a lot of money. I'm not making any money. In fact, I'm losing money on this consistently. So, as far as leadership goes, I want to be here for everybody to talk to about anything. I want to be here for, if you've got a complaint about something that happens in the room, I want to be able to take it seriously and deal with it. Not brush it off or make fun of it like I did with Courtney that time. And that wasn't cool. I'm sorry, Courtney. I want to facilitate people in executing their ideas about the channel. I do want it to be democratic. Not democratic exactly. I want it to be egalitarian, not democratic. So I understand that there has to be a line drawn somewhere for what's acceptable, what's not. And as I indicated in a conversation with Nick earlier today, part of the reason why I'm not so concerned about somebody coming in and tipping over the room is I don't think anybody's got the balls or the ability to do it on camera or on mic, and they're not going to be able to succeed at that just from the chat. And the reason is because I'm going to try to deal with them forthright and honestly, directly. And it's going to be pretty hard to persist in a trolling for an extended period of time when somebody's being so honest with you and you're being so dishonest with them. That's hard to maintain because people generally have some reaction to FE stuff, Anyhow, I don't feel like I left either of those conversations today with a clear understanding of what it is I need to do differently exactly. I do understand that I have been sort of sidestepping the leadership issue, trying to avoid it a bit. And I do understand that leadership means more or less not a whole lot more than I'm doing now, except maybe better defining where we're going as a community. The thing is, there's still a strong part of me that says where we're going as a community is something that will be organically determined. But I have a clearer vision than maybe I have in the past, and I know a couple things that I want to get done. I want to make sure I get the marketplace set up. I'm in the process of doing that. I would love to come to some sort of arrangement with somebody to help me run that thing. You know, if you got shit you want to sell, and I mean, I think there's plenty of well, I mean, I think this is what he means by lead. This is what Taylor means by being disingenuous or not leading. I know what I want more or less, and I don't want to say it because it puts me in the position of requesting, and then it makes people feel pressure or something. So, what that's just a hurdle I have to get over, I guess. What I'm suggesting is that if somebody has an interest in speculatively working in the marketplace with me on the notion that either they'll sell stuff that they want to sell there, not in the artifacts part, but it's a marketplace that lets you set up different sections. It's like, what's it called, Squarespace, or potentially a small percentage of everything that sells. I mean, I don't really know uh, what the arrangement would be, but I do know that I would like to have somebody helping me with the marketplace. I need somebody helping me who's invested spiritually into it, like who understands that as it succeeds more, they'll be rewarded commensurately, and is making it work for that reason or something equivalent. Uh, if I don't get that person, I'll do it myself, but it'll take longer probably, and I'll feel a little less sure about things because arranging and displaying data and all the things I want to arrange and display is not something I'm bad at, but it's not something I'm fast at. And it's not something I'm good at. I mean, I'm good at displaying data for my own purposes. Like, I like to make tables that are arranged differently, like multiple tables arranged differently. What other leadership can I offer? Uh, I would love to interview people. I'd like to think I'm a pretty good interviewer. I don't really get a chance to interview people very much anymore. One-on-one interviews. We have a lot of conversations, but interviews a little different. And when I started the channel, I started doing that. If individuals within the community would like to do something to help, let's go with the idea that was thrown on the table earlier, which is if a lot of people were to comment on Michael Pierce's channel saying that I'd like to interview him, and I'll comment there as well, it seems likely that he'd be willing to come on maybe and be interviewed. I also want to throw out the other thing, which is if you are watching any YouTube video and you choose to leave a comment on that video for whatever reason, if you could add to that comment that host Eric would like to interview you and put the GTM link or something like that, then that would be fantastic. and I suspect that it would generate some results eventually. I am not. I understand that there's a benefit to interviewing more big people, bigger name people, but I am not at all against. I mean, I am perfectly enthusiastic, just as enthusiastic about interviewing people with 2 subscribers or whatever. I, I understand the practical benefits of interviewing bigger people, but I'm not going to sacrifice the philosophical heart of the channel. The whole idea of the name, talking about famous people, is that we have just as much of interest, if not shitloads more, than celebrities, and we ought to get in the habit of treating ourselves and others who are interesting, creative people as famous people. The host title is intended to indicate that you're taking a leadership role in the conversation. And I'd like to think that what's happened so far has been sort of proof of concept, that in ways that I didn't anticipate. So it's kind of a weird thing to say it's proof of concept, but I mean, there's people who want to take on that mantle, and then understand at a certain point they can just give themselves the name and do so. There are sometimes when people, I refer to them one time as host. I remember when it first occurred to me that the thing I was trying to do was working, and I had to respect it, so that when I first realized that people care, like, oh, Eric called me host something, then I had to respect it. I had to give it a little bit more thought. I mean, I still wanted to stress. I ended up basically stressing the same thing, which was, the point is no barriers to entry. No barriers to entry. You want to come put a video up on the main channel right now and you've never been in here before? Fine. Come have a conversation with us. Edit the video from the raw footage. You can use a downloader if you don't know how to get the file without the downloader. I mean, there's some, I don't even know, because I have YouTube Red, so I just download my own videos when I want it, because YouTube Red lets you do that. But whatever I was saying. The point is, no barriers to entry, right? I want people who think to themselves, shit, I could do that. I want them to come do that. It's like, how much of our lives have we spent being kept out of the cool stuff? Like, well, this is for the performers only. This is for the important people. I don't like that. I don't like that. And neither does Yaylor. I want to see this thing blow up big. I am very much determined to see it pay off for others in lots of different ways. I hope to add value to your lives, as has been indicated, that a lot of people have indicated to me this channel has added value to their lives. I'm very grateful to hear that. That makes it it's very difficult to remember that people aren't just doing me a favor when they watch my video or participate in something that I'm involved with. That they're taking something of value from the experience for themselves as well. And that it's okay for me to acknowledge that reality. And I mean, these are the kind of hard parts of self-development, I think. I was struck on a couple of occasions by today. I mean, a number of occasions. Today's conversations were thought-provoking. Like when Nick asked me if I loved myself. I bet he uses that question a lot. I bet he does. It's a good one. It's a really good one. And the fact that I didn't have a quick answer for it is telling of something, probably not what people would anticipate it being telling of. I think it's telling more than anything else of being wholly unaccustomed to making meaning out of my own feelings. So, the thing is this. I want the gold that is littering the river floor of the raw room to somehow be put up for general enjoyment. And I want to talk to as many more people as possible. I want that raw room. I would love for the raw room someday to actually be full when it says it's full instead of just having technical problems. And have 100 people in there. I'd have to open up a second raw room. That'd be fantastic. I've got the room. I just don't have the need yet. So, this is by far the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me. By far. By a million miles. I mean, going on that trip was insane. I can't believe I actually did it. I feel like stop and stop, Eric. Just look. You're living like you always wanted to live, finally. But you never even knew you wanted to live like that. And you're being rewarded. I mean, this is the thing, right? I don't know what I'm being rewarded for, except I'm being rewarded for this. This I will accept being rewarded for. I'm being rewarded for persisting in the face of the naysayers. That's the thing that got me, that put an end to the reading of that leadership thing. Because when I read that part, I started crying because that's what I finally did. After years of quitting. Years of quitting in the face of pushback. Once I quit drinking, I discovered my fists. Oh, there they were. But I'm not going to spend time right now getting mad at myself for my myriad failures prior to doing that, which is what I was about to do. I got to remember to, instead of doing what I just did, which is criticize myself for not figuring that out sooner, I'm going to do my very best to sit here and go, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy, and it's also something I got to take seriously. Something I got to hear the criticism of others, parse it out carefully, determine what I have to keep and what I got to throw out. In this case, I respect and understand that somehow I need to display a more active, visionary kind of leadership role that isn't good enough. So no more meh in terms of my attitude about what's going on and what's going to happen. If anybody has any questions, wants to talk to me about anything, frankly, you're always welcome to find me on the Bra Room. You can call me. My phone number is easy to find if you look a little bit. People do. Random people call me out of the blue sometimes. I always get a kick out of it. You can text me. I might not respond to text. I hate texting. You can Facebook message me. You can be my Facebook friend for sure. Facebook message me. I don't really check my email. But, it's like I love every minute of this. I love the fact that I'm being told to be more leader. Like, it's just so, right in the solar plexus, It's great. Spectacular. And I need to, acknowledge that I can soak it in occasionally. I need to acknowledge that I try to soak it in occasionally. And that I'm aware of the significance of my role in the thing. That is in my YouTube channel, and that it's people come here largely because of Shirtless Woodman. And so, as his current roomie, is that what you call me? Is that what you're going to call me? Are you going to call me a roommate? All right, lover. That's right. He's bottom. Shirtless? Yeah, I told you we weren't going to talk about it. Well, you are. Now shut up. Anyway, I'm the leader around here. My name is Shirtless Woodman. And anyhow, what am I supposed to lead about now? Beats the shit out of me. Yeah, I don't know either. Carry on, everybody. Thanks for watching Talking with Famous People.